What we've got here is failure to communicate. Some men you just can't reach. So you get what we had here last week, which is the way he wants. Well, he is.
Yes, we have failure to communicate here with the NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell this week and the whole issue with Ray Rice and how it was handled.
Mhm.
I guess we should also mention too, today, kind of a bad time to be dealing with an issue like this because, today is, of course, 9/11,
Yes.
actually.
Yes.
I feel like this is deja vu. I think last year, actually, we did an edition of TW Sports Talk on 9/11.
Yeah, maybe.
I think we
But
did.
remember on
I
a
f-
Tuesday
I
last
f-
year, though.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Or maybe it was on a Wednesday because it wasn't a leap year. But yeah, so either way, I mean, so yeah, a little deja vu here. But yeah, we of course, we got the big Ray Rice issue to talk about in today's edition of TW Sports Talk, along with,
Yeah.
Eagles week 1 performance and going forward here in week 2. But yeah, I mean, obviously it's a tough week to talk football because of the whole domestic violence issue with Ray Rice.
As soon as Adam Schefter on First Take said this is the worst incident that happened in the NFL since the whole playing on the Sunday after the assassination of John F. Kennedy,
Yeah.
I automatically opened my eyes there because we got
Yeah.
Adam Schefter saying that,
Yeah.
the guy that's known the league for stayed in the league for years.
Right.
That's already got to make your eyes like start to bulge open.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. And by the looks of it, soon we will have a new NFL commissioner. The way it's going here, I mean, it feels like a Watergate scandal, cover
Keith
up.
Olbermann made that comparison on his show.
Yeah,
on
I
ESPN.
heard that. Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of comparisons.
He made the Nixon. He did compare Roger Goodell to Richard Nixon and Watergate. So
yeah. I mean, the reports I were hearing yesterday was that apparently, there was video sent to,
Yes.
of inside the elevator, back in April that was
yes,
sent
because
to
the NFL's
Goodell.
argument is that we
That-
saw the first video, which was
Right.
just them coming out of the elevator. Nobody really knows what happened inside
Right.
the elevator. In fact, when I even saw that video, I kind of ignored that too because I didn't know, because I didn't know what. And no, wrong. That's ignorance on my part there too. But again, when that story broke out, I was also working on a college paper, so my mind wasn't focused on the Ray Rice situation right away. And that.
Yeah.
But I remember when I saw the video, I'm like, well, she could have easily just passed out on the floor. And then, either way you look at it, you got Ray Rice dragging her out, like flopping her around. And I'm like, oh my god, this is terrible. This looks bad and so on.
Yeah.
And then you watch the second video where he actually hits her, and I mean hits her.
Yeah, like a Muhammad Ali or Joe Frazier knockout punch.
I mean, there's no excuse for the whole 2 game scenario. The guy should have been banned for life. Period.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of funny how people are praising their second stance, which is first offense is 6 weeks. But I remember like Jon Stewart in the Daily Show made fun. It's like, so what you're saying is that if you hit somebody, you only get to miss the first 6 games of the season, pretty much.
Yeah.
And then you come back on the field. No, it should be life. Period. That should not be tolerated at all. There should not be a second chance. Really, you should be banned for life.
Yeah.
Should not be tolerated in the NFL.
Yeah.
Or any company whatsoever.
It's like a because then it becomes a public relations issue here.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean that was now there's like questions of will anyone ever give Ray Rice another chance? And
CFL's not touching him.
Not only he's running backs don't have a long shelf life. I mean he's already played 7 years, so I mean
look, it's based on his wife's comments. Sounds like they're going to stick together. And they do, and best of my knowledge, they do have kids. So obviously, somebody's got to get money to provide for the family here. So I do hope he finds a job of some kind.
Well, yeah.
I mean, but I mean, it should not be tolerated in the NFL. It should not be tolerated in any work environment. Period.
Yeah. Going forward,
there should be no tolerant. There should be a no tolerable policy. Pretty much.
Yeah.
No question.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a very hairy issue right now.
I mean, like I said, I blame the NFL, blame the Ravens organization, and I blame myself for not taking domestic violence as serious. Probably when I saw the first video, not taking the issue as serious.
Well, yeah, I mean the Ravens. I mean they were defending Ray Rice.
Exactly. And now it's And there's talk of Rutgers University where they will they take Ray Rice out of their introduction video because he's probably one of the best players to come out of Rutgers University.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a bad story for the NFL.
Yeah.
And it's not the only domestic. Certainly, it's not even the only story. I mean, I think one of the biggest jokes ESPN did was when they had Ray freaking Lewis to try to explain the Ray Rice situation. I'm sorry, Ray Lewis doesn't talk. He doesn't have a right to talk about getting away with something or not getting punished enough.
Yeah.
His excuse was even great too. Well, it's not me and him. It's different. It's different. Yeah, in the words of John Stewart. Yeah, I won't hit a woman, but I will obstruct a murder case. Pretty much. Yeah, they're different, but obstructing murder, I don't see that being any better than hitting a woman.
Yeah, this was it was an argument, I guess, in an but it was not, Ray Rice's fiance at the time putting a gun to his head.
And I can't believe some of the Red supporters are making the argument that she tried to swing at him first.
Yeah, well, even
if that's the case, look at the size and look at it. It's a football player. Right.
If she does throw some punches,
and if drinking had something
back.
to do with it, that's even stupider than on their part, because that's like, okay, well, they're not mentally thinking straight, but you should still know better.
Right. Yeah. Then again, I mean, I guess that's not too much in control there, but
no.
But yeah, I mean, even if she is throwing punches or whatever, and there's people that have called into radio station shows that have. They say, no, you just defend yourself. You hold her arms back or whatever.
Yeah.
You don't throw punches like, what was thrown in the elevator by Ray Rice.
And it was a legitimate haymaker.
That could have killed. That could have,
Well, suppose she banged her head against the railing, too.
Well, yeah. That was...
So she was knocked out.
Yeah. That was, it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
To say, but... So, yeah, we got that issue. Who knows? Maybe next week, we'll be sitting here and saying, about a new commissioner in the NFL. And
I don't see next week. To me,
maybe not next week.
To me, this investigation, they're buying time. They're just buying time.
To
me, though, investigation I know the NFL doesn't want to see is an actual independent investigation where maybe Congress calls into investigation the NFL and that, an actual independent. I left at the whole independent investigation because the two guys that are going to be overseeing this investigation are two NFL owners. The owner of the Steelers, I believe the owner of the Steelers, I forget the other owner. Slipped my mind all of a sudden. I know one's Rooney, who owns the
Ravens.
No, not the Ravens.
Not the Ravens. Yeah.
It would not be the Ravens in a Ray Rice scenario. Even though in the words of the shit, I can't get this organization. It's like the number one women's organization in the world. Their statement is that the NFL doesn't have a Ray Rice problem. It has clearly a violence against female problem.
Yeah.
And I can't argue with that because apparently there's been 50 cases of domestic violence in this league in the last couple of years, and none of those guys really got punished.
Yeah.
Some of them are still in the active rosters right now.
Right. Yeah.
So it's clearly a problem, especially because this is a big market that has a good chunk of female fans. I'd fix the problem.
Yeah.
And to me, the only way you start fixing it is you cut guys out from the top and you work way down to the bottom.
Yeah. Again, public relations here. That's...
Honestly, though, I want to start seeing...
multi-billion-dollar corporation.
The only way they're going to take it serious is if sponsors start jumping ship.
Yeah.
That's the only... All these guys care about, Tyler, is money. That's it. Money and viewership. And I don't see viewership going down, sadly. You and me are going to start watching football because of this, sadly.
Right, yeah.
And anybody else who's saying that, I'm sorry, that you're joking. It's not going to happen. If you're a football fan, you're going to keep watching it there. You won't feel great about it.
Yeah.
But you're going to be watching football still. So I need sponsors to step up here. They need to start, because what do these guys care about? Money. If they're starting to lose money, they're going to start getting pressure then, and that's how you get Roger Goodell out. Because clearly he's not going out on his own free will.
Yeah.
He might need to get fired.
Yeah.
He might not resign. He might need to get fired.
He's continued to, basically say like, no, we didn't get any video footage or this and that.
What was his argument with Jonathan Vilma of the Saints though? Ignorance is not an excuse.
Yeah.
Okay, and I guess in the words of Harrison, a former Steeler and so on there, who also had plenty of problems with this commissioner in the past, said made a Twitter comment saying, it's not fun when the rabbit has the gun, is it, Roger? Now, I mean, he's not wrong. Roger now is in a position where other guys are at now, where his own words are coming back to bite him pretty much.
Yeah.
So, like I said, to me, he's got to go.
Yeah.
I didn't say that come Monday, but when the AP thing came out, I mean, it was official. He had to go.
Yeah.
There's no excuses. I buy the AP report. If someone in the NFL office got it, you cannot tell me the commissioner did not know about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Or B, refused to see it.
Right.
Or C, he did see it and he still made the 2-game call.
Yeah. I mean, and it goes to like the Ravens too. I mean, begging, don't let it.
There's no question. Some top guys in the Ravens got to go too. I don't know if the owner's going to be one of them, but maybe the general manager.
Yeah.
I don't see John Harbaugh going because he's a head coach, and it's kind of. I don't know how he would. I mean, to me, it's got to be top level management in that. Yeah. I mean, unless Harbaugh was somehow involved in it, I don't see that. It sounds like more of a. This is a cover up. To me, it's more upper level management. Yeah. Coaches are considered upper level management in the NFL, really.
Yeah.
College is a different story, maybe. I mean, the whole Penn State scenario, which I also got kind of resolved this week too. I mean, Joe Paterno to me was high level everything at Penn State there. Yeah. So that's why he deserved to get punished. But it's the way I think. But that's a different story.
Yeah. So obviously that's a big issue surrounding us right now. Yeah. Before we can even really get into the Eagles after that.
Well, I don't know how you can talk just about football and ignore what is easily the biggest story to hit the National Football League. Yeah. The biggest non-football story to hit the National Football League. Yeah. Like I said, heads will roll by the end of this year. If not by the NFL on its own, by Congress eventually. Because, like I said, Congress got pretty personal with baseball and steroids.
Yeah.
I'm sure the NFL does not want to see congressional hearings with football players coming in, who have a history of hitting their wife and so on, explaining their actions and so on. I mean, I'm sure that's not what the NFL wants right now. That's bad press in that. But like I said, to me, things that can start getting it rolling is sponsors got to start jumping ship.
Yeah.
Someone's got to finally say, I can't sponsor the league right now until changes are made, and then I'll get back.
Yeah.
Doesn't need to be a permanent one. Just need to be temporary till they get the picture, pretty much. Till they start losing millions of dollars.
Yeah. So of course, you have the Ravens and the Steelers game tonight.
Ironically enough.
TMZ. I mean, maybe a little strategy there, leading up to the leaking of the video, leading up to the.
Like I said, TMZ is usually not deemed reliable, but they have broken some big stories in the past, and this is easily one of their biggest stories they've broken.
Yeah.
Like I said, they're not usually deemed. They're more deemed almost like a kind of paparazzi deal. Yeah. They just most of the time they're just known for
going viral.
Well, most of the time they're just known for just hijacking celebrities, leaving an airport or a restaurant, or they just like maybe answer like 3-5 questions. That's about it.
Yeah.
But there are occasions when they actually break an actual news story that none of the big guys could break.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is easily the biggest news story that TMZ's broken right now. I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it makes the NFL look like a joke because how the TMZ get a hold of something.
Yeah, they cash it. Yeah. Yeah. So that's that right now. But I mean the Eagles, I guess on Sunday.
Yes. Let's talk about football now.
Yeah.
I think people have heard nothing about the Ray Rice situation right now. Even though, to this credit, maybe domestic violence would be taken a little more seriously in this country now. There's a positive light coming out of this here. Yeah. Silver lining. It's that this is not a joking issue anymore. This will be taken seriously, not just in the NFL, hopefully in the general public now.
Yeah.
Maybe more people will start to stand up and say, hey, they see it in domestic violence, they stop it, man.
Right,
Or they call the police and they say,
whatever.
Stop it. Like, don't ignore it anymore. It's not it's not personal anymore.
Yeah. So, but before this whole thing broke out, I mean, it was good to have NFL, regular season football back.
Mm-hmm.
The Eagles on Sunday, started off with a pretty bad first half, especially bad first quarter, letting the Jaguars get out to an early 17-0 lead. And then in the second quarter, the Eagles just putting it together, winning 34-17 at the end. Obviously, Nick Foles, one of the main concerns, obviously coming out of this game. Looking like at times.
I got many concerns coming out of this game.
Yeah, I figured you would. I mean, the secondary.
I've always been the most pessimistic guy when it came to this team here, so you knew as soon as this game happened, and afterwards, it was Wade's gonna probably have a lot more negative things to say than I will probably about this team.
Well, I mean, I have the negative things. I mean, the secondary. I've continued to say, if they don't get a pass rush on them, they're going to get exposed here, and that's what was happening in the first part of this game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, by a no-name wide receiver, with all due respect,
undrafted.
Yeah, I mean,
Alan Hearns, who led the game, in receptions at the end of the day.
Yeah,
he outplayed all of our wide receivers.
Yes, as far as
stats,
he had two. I mean, he had 2 touchdown receptions.
2 touchdowns, and he had the most yards.
Yeah, I mean, over Kerry Williams, and which was supposed to be.
He made Kerry Williams look like a joke in that first one.
Kerry Williams was supposed to be like one of the vocal leaders of this defense, and I mean, he just.
What was that? We're too weak. They're too weak. The defense is too weak. It's gonna be tough. He looked very tough against that Alan Hearns.
Yeah,
Alan Hearns just burning him so badly, and then the second one was just magnificent.
Yeah,
in between three of our guys, and then bad tackling into the end zone.
Yeah, so I mean, again, I've continued to say the secondary's been an issue, and it remains something to be fixed with this team down the road. And I think, I think it'll probably play a role in them losing to the Colts coming Monday night. When considering
that game is probably a toss-up.
Well, yeah,
especially with Robert Mathis.
The line's close.
I mean, Robert Mathis.
It should be a shootout.
I mean, Robert Mathis is going to miss the game anyway. But now that Robert Mathis is out, I don't think the Colts have that South locked up like I think they did in the past.
Yeah.
Tennessee looked very impressive week 1.
Yeah, week 1
on both sides of the ball, by the way.
Yeah,
which is something you can't see.
Week 1. I mean,
I know it's only week 1, Tyler, but there were some surprises week 1 too.
The Dolphins beating the Patriots. I mean,
To be fair though, I think no Sean Moreno giving him a running game that puts a little less pressure on Tannehill. Then
they were kind of like running a sort of like a Chip Kelly offense down there. They were saying in a sense, but they came back and won that game.
I mean, clearly the Denver Broncos missed no Sean Moreno because that's one reason why the Colts almost came back in that game.
Yeah, they didn't.
They tried to run the ball out, the clock out with Monty Ball, and he's just not no Sean Moreno.
Yeah.
So, and no one really was talking about that pickup by the Dolphins, but that might, they beat Buffalo. That's 2-0 in the division. That's already got New England in a hole already to start the season off. I mean, Dolphins can go easily 5-1 in the division. I mean, this team always made the playoffs last year too.
Yeah, as
a wild card. And now if no Sean Moreno picked up and they got a running game, if he can stay healthy, this team can stay healthy. This might be a division champion, believe it or not.
Yeah. Yeah, the past couple of years they've been like on the fringe of, doing something and falling short of wild card spots. So yeah. But yeah, I mean, again, I mean, Foles looking like, kind of the weak link here, which was a bit alarming here in the first game of the season. I'm watching him get sacked, and for the first time, like I really see like Foles like getting frustrated out there. He just gets sacked one play, he just like slams the ball down, and
but his whole he had the same problem last year.
Holding on to the ball,
too damn. He's just begging for a concussion. He's not begging for a guy to just come in and just destroy him.
He doesn't slide in the pocket, so he's gonna have to get rid of the ball quicker. That's the bottom line, and it certainly now it doesn't help that they lost Evan Mathis for quite a while,
which means when they face a legitimate defense,
Alan Barbary, who's back,
they face a legitimate defense,
and I mean Alan Barber now went down for the season. He was backing up Lane Johnson. Now Lane Johnson, I guess, will be back in a few weeks, but still, I mean, you don't want to lose too many guys. I mean, again,
he might be back time. He's got to get back in shape, though.
Well, yeah,
he's gonna be rusty coming back.
Yeah. So I mean, already they're in a bit of a hole there. So, Foles is gonna have to get rid of the ball quickly. I think that's the bottom line. If because if pressure breaks down, he's gonna get sacked again. He got there were like 2 sack fumbles there. that were lost.
Yep.
So 3 turnovers there.
An
Early in the game.
interception
Yeah,
in the end zone.
he's already one interception away from tying last year's. Obviously that's the big thing. But I mean, then again,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm expecting Nick Foles to throw more than 10 interceptions this season, and as it is.
I would be surprised if he has more interceptions than touchdowns this year.
Well, he still has a 2-to-1 ratio. Well, at least in this game, he had 2-1.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't.
In this game,
I don't think
I
don't think he's gonna have. Yeah.
Because there was a question on Twitter at one point, which was, which quarterback is the best quarterback in the NFC East right now? And the answer is none of them are.
Well, yeah, after this,
none of them are.
They all look pretty bad this week.
You should sell all of them.
Yeah, I mean, they all look pretty bad this week, actually. Yeah.
I mean, Foles can go 10 for 19 this year, and the Eagles will still somehow make the division because how big of a joke 7-9 might actually be the record. The record when all said and done to win the division.
Yeah.
I
think he's gonna. I think Foles will bounce back this week and maybe be more of himself. Now, if
this guy will miss Deshaun Jackson by the time this year is over. He missed it.
I think here too. Yeah, these zone defenses that the Jaguars are running. Gus Bradley. To his credit, I think definitely not having Jackson out there.
I think Jacksonville gave us the game in the second half.
Yeah, well,
I said this was a trap game early on, but when I meant trap, I still meant like, okay, the Eagles are gonna probably take the lead early, but Jacksonville's not gonna go away.
Or it would be like competitive.
No one, not even me, saw Jacksonville 17, Philadelphia 0 at halftime.
Right, yeah.
I don't think Jacksonville saw that coming.
Yeah.
I think Jacksonville was just shocked they even had the lead going.
Yeah.
Because the second half was just, that whole play calling was screwed up then. I don't think they didn't know what to do. At one point, I felt they wanted to be too conservative and just barely hang on to the lead. I'm like, they could try to go for maybe one more score here, and then maybe they could pull away from this game then finally. But to me, Jacksonville was just shocked. This is just a team that's not used to. In fact, I'm trying to think when they said this was the first time they had a lead at halftime since
they said something. Yes, it's like 2009 or so. Yeah, I don't know.
So this is a franchise that's not used to winning any game. Leading any game.
I think it was like that they were leading by that many points or whatever. I think it was.
So to me, this team just didn't know what the hell to do. They were in a position they were not used to.
Yeah.
Being ahead of a team.
Yeah.
And Tyler, when you're ahead of a team, play calling changes when you.
It does. Yeah.
And so Jacksonville, I think only if. Keep in mind, this is when I heard Cecil Shorts was out, I figured, okay, that's it. Jacksonville has no shot. I thought this is the one guy that could give us trouble, or secondary trouble. Now I was wrong. Alan Hearns clearly gave us secondary trouble, which to me shows you, get nervous this year. There's gonna be a lot of deep balls that are gonna go over these guys this year. Everyone's making fun of Dallas' second, horrendous defense. Eagles might be given competition, along with the Chicago Bears as well. But no, so I was shocked here. But if this would have been any other team, loss. It would have been a loss.
Well, not any other team.
Yes, it would have.
Not the Raiders.
Okay.
I'll
give you the Raiders and maybe the Cleveland Browns as well.
Yeah, but in other teams.
If you would have swapped the Niners, like we got San Francisco, and they got Jacksonville, it would have been. It probably, actually, I think the results would have been the same. I think Dallas would have probably made a comeback, and we probably would have lost to San Francisco. Even if we had a better second half, which is what Dallas had against San Francisco.
Yeah. So, obviously, lesson to be taken here, Because San Francisco, they know what they're doing.
Tyler, there are people, and granted, these are people that I know on Facebook that are like I call them like 16-0 fans. No matter what, the team's going 16-0 no matter what. What? I know Oakland Raider fans that no matter what, 16-0. Clearly that died in week 1. But no matter what, 16-0. Doesn't matter what the stats says. Doesn't matter if they even admit that the team's got big holes to fill. 16-0. And the way the team made the comeback, you would have thought this was the Seattle Seahawks we just beat here.
Yeah.
There's people going, Nick Foles showed franchise composure in this game here. He shouldn't have had to show franchise composure against the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah.
But, and there's like some people saying, that's it, the division's locked up. We won week 1. It's like, we almost lost week 1. There would have been like no wins in the NFC East, really.
Yeah. Well, if you take away if Foles maybe would have played more like he normally would, this game could have been a lot more lopsided, than it was. But
Technically, it should have been 23-0. Was it for a missed field goal by Scobie, which by the way you don't see that too often, and a blocked field goal once again you don't see that too often either.
Yeah.
Would have been 20-0, and that would have been even a bigger hole.
Yeah.
And not to mention, Foles only threw one real pass. The Zach Ertz pass.
As far
the
as
Zach Ertz
the
pass.
touchdown, yeah.
Because what were the other really big touchdown plays? Darren Sproles runs through a Jacksonville defense that wasn't even set properly.
Yeah.
Clearly shocked and forgot to play the game in the second half essentially. So Sproles runs for the longest touchdown in his career because no one is set in Jacksonville because we actually got fast. We actually got set up fast enough. But the fact that it's Sproles' longest run should tell you that it was a give me touchdown.
Yeah. Normally,
the fact that he never had a run longer at New Orleans shows you that it was a give me touchdown.
Yeah.
And then Jerry Maclin, who was pretty much a relative no-show the entire game until the one time that a backup safety Jacksonville completely misreads a play, and he's wide open down the field. Anybody could have probably flew and made that catch there.
Yeah.
In the NFL.
Well, yeah, it was underthrown. I mean, it was underthrown to begin with, but.
Yeah, but nobody was around him. The one guy who could have stopped Maclin completely misread the play, probably because he was the backup and just wished he wasn't on the field at that point. And Maclin makes his catch, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, that's it. We don't need the Sean Jackson anymore. It's like, not.
Well, maybe not against Jacksonville, but against Seattle and those teams. Yeah.
Wally Cooper was a no-show. Jordan Matthews was a no-show. Josh Huff to me is a bust. A bust waiting to happen here. I mean, and like I said, Maclin has one big play, and that's it. And it was a give me. It was a give me. It was a gift wrapped with a pretty bow on it there. Jacksonville at that point, like I said, gave us the game. As soon as we tied it up, it was over. I said it was over. It was over. This Jacksonville clearly just gave up in the second half, pretty much.
Yeah. Well,
they clearly were shocked to death.
Well, yeah. I mean, you see the Colts too, and you don't sleep on Andrew Luck either. I mean, they almost rallied back. They had a chance to come back and tie.
Well, like I said, there's two reasons why that happened because I think the Broncos went into prevent mode way too early. And they missed no Sean Moreno. Monty Ball is just not going to get the job done in the running game for him. Yeah. And, I mean, it probably won't hurt him because you got Peyton Manning at quarterback. Yeah. Well, we saw receiving core still, even if Welker's out for 4 weeks. So, I mean, they'll probably still be fine if the next 4 weeks in that. But to me, that only happened because Broncos went to prevent way too early. And they're going to miss no Sean Moreno. But just like I think we'll miss the Sean, they'll miss no Sean.
Yeah. That was a nice way to put it there. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I'm expecting Foles to perform better against the Colts here, and
he should.
If he doesn't,
he should. There's no Robert Mathis to worry about.
There's no
pass rusher on this defense.
Yeah,
I mean, really, Mathis pretty much was a one-man guy for this defense. Yeah. But like I said earlier, we could beat the Colts, and I don't think it really matters because I don't know if the Colts really are the sole AFC guys anymore, really.
So, well, in their division. Well, yeah, I mean, there's other teams that look good. Yeah, I mean,
Tennessee was actually a playoff. Like I said, there were 4 teams that surprised me. One was the Dolphins, but I think no Sean Moreno might have been a solid pickup there. The Vikings looked very impressive, but once again, quarterback's gonna be a question mark probably with Castle.
And the Rams, who they destroyed, are a question.
But thinking the Rams, like you said, they lost Chris Long for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
They also lost their backup quarterback, Hill. So now they got Austin Davis, the third string. It's already crossed them off already. In fact, that should be an easy win for Philadelphia because they got no offense now. Now you don't have a quarterback, you have no offense, and if Long's out for a couple of weeks and they have more injuries, this great defense will be a shell of itself when it faces Philadelphia then.
Yeah.
So I was nervous about that game, but that's a win now. However, Houston. Circle that.
It's a tough. Oh yeah, their defense.
JJ Watt. I'm just seeing him swallow Nick Foles the entire game right now. Not to mention, Clowney will be back by then. Yeah. So you got two big guys that can just wreck you then. And like I said, I know people are gonna say Ryan Fitzpatrick. Okay, he's by himself sometimes. He's had good games and bad games. Yeah. So, but Houston's got a defense.
Yeah.
But they don't have a quarterback though. But then you got the one team that I think actually might win the South maybe this year now.
And that's
Tennessee. Who I think definitely Philadelphia's definitely circled that game.
Yeah.
Let's get this was a playoff team last year until Jake Locker pretty much went down. Because that's been the question about Jake Locker. Could he stay healthy pretty much? If he can stay healthy, there's and if they can at least beat the Colts in one game, just one game, could win the division probably this year. And especially since the Colts are definitely weak on the defensive end, which means you got a lot more pressure on Andrew Luck on the offensive end. Listen, to me, the Titans are the most balanced team in the South. They got a pretty good defense, and they have, I think offensively they're pretty good. And I think they're the only other team that has a decent quarterback right now.
Yeah.
I mean, the Texans, the only reason why you really can't buy them is because of Fitzpatrick. And Jacksonville, I think they're moving in the right direction, but they clearly are still missing too many holes.
Yeah.
They clearly have too many holes in that team.
Yeah.
But, the Colts, to me, that team's going to live and die with Andrew Luck this year, pretty much.
Yeah.
They got nobody on the defensive end this year. Even if Mathis, came back from his suspension, he's out with an ACL now. So he's done this year.
Yeah.
And really, he was the only guy carrying that defense. So, and like I said, honestly, I could see us losing 5 straight games after our bye then. Arizona, Green Bay, Tennessee, Houston, and
well, I mean,
I'm trying to Carolina, which I think was the other team that might shock many people this year too.
Yeah, well, yeah, a lot
especially
of people,
with Cam Newton back then.
A lot of people, yeah.
And Kelvin Benjamin looks like a real guy. And I also, and then to mention, the second guy we probably miss that's all in Carolina, Jason Avant. We will miss him by the end of this year too, because trust me, this locker room falls apart. I mean, at some point this year, you wish you had Jason Avant in that locker room.
Well, I mean, at least the way they seem to not get too. I mean, keep it together, I guess, emotionally when they're down 17.
To me, I think the only reason the Bucks kind of were themselves because their offensive coordinator was out. He had surgery recently, so he had a backup offensive coordinator and the quarterback coach calling offensive coordinator
second string
offensive coordinator.
Yeah,
which actually could be a problem sometimes. Even if it's the same playbook and so on, just the fact that it just feels different.
Yeah.
Because like I said, Derby did look better in the second half than they did the first half. It is Josh McCown, and there are some people who actually carry Tampa Bay as a sleeper for a playoff team this year.
Yeah.
Mainly
I don't, but
I think mainly it's because of who the coach is, Lovie Smith.
Yeah, Lovie Smith.
That Josh McCown
was decent last year.
They have decent receiving core. Mike Evans now, who's a rookie, and Vincent Jackson.
Yeah.
And that defense still is not one to like. That still is not a defense to mess around with. So I can see why some people would say a sleeper. I think maybe it's too big of a hill to climb in the South.
That division, that division,
especially if Carolina is not going to take that big of a backwards step as most people thought they would.
And now, of course, you got Atlanta.
Especially Atlanta's back.
I think they're back. I mean, and obviously
the Saints.
The Saints.
If they don't win the division, at least you got still fall in as a wild card.
Possibly. That division is probably comparable with the West this year, the NFC West. Especially now that the Rams.
The Rams are
just
chalk them off now. They have no hope now about a quarterback.
Yeah.
And if they keep losing guys on defense, they're done. So.
Yeah. That's that. The rest of the NFC East or the NFC least look pretty bad. I mean, across the board.
I would say RG3 did bad.
Statistically, he was. Statistically he was good, but they weren't scoring points. That was their problem.
I mean, but let's get into new offense, maybe.
I mean, he looked like he was getting mad out there.
Don't get me wrong. Jay Gruden pulling all these arena football trick plays in the NFL. Yeah. That's. I joked about how Chip Kelly was pulling too many college shit last year.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, arena football plays? No.
Yeah.
No. First of all, that arena football is a 50-yard field.
Yeah,
it's half of an NFL football field. So I don't even know why you even thought about that. But yeah, so I don't even know if even though he's a Gruden, he's John Gruden's brother, Jay. There's people saying that he might be a one and done as far as the head coach goes, maybe.
Yeah.
And of course the other thing is, will Kirk Cousins finally get if RG can't turn it around,
and if RG or stay healthy for that matter.
I mean,
you saw what JJ Watt and Clowney were out there doing. I mean,
hey, I'm telling you, Philadelphia, circle that game because the line has holes in Philadelphia. Foles is going to be dealing that all game.
Yeah.
All game.
He's not going to be able to hold on to the ball and survive. And I mean, I don't know, but the receivers are gonna have to get open if they can. So
I mean,
maybe these are tight ends. I don't know, but
the New York Giants.
yeah,
I play once again. I know it's a new offense, and I get the fact that Detroit's a sleeper for a lot of guys as far as playoffs go, and they looked very impressive in that game.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, but yeah, it's going to be a rough year for Tom Coughlin, and it might be the same year for Eli Manning as last year, which is not going to be good for him as far as a legacy goes, or if Hall of Fame is ever going to be in his wing. I mean, and then we have the Dallas Cowboys, who I actually watched the whole 49ers game, and you take away the first half, this is a game that Dallas probably should have won, probably, if you think about it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, prevent mode for the 49ers probably in the second half, but yeah, I mean, of course there was, America's game of the week, and I'm thinking, well maybe not.
Tyler, to be fair, because I know you heard that there, that's how Fox calls out all of their 4 games at 4:00 and that.
Yeah.
Even though most of that's just due to time zones, pretty much, because most teams that play at 4 are usually in the West Coast.
Yeah.
That's due to time differential. So it's not really much game of the week. I mean, really, the real game of the weeks are the primetime games on NBC and the Monday night game on ESPN, and maybe even the Thursday night game now, because they have their own days now. Like they have their own time. There's no competition around them.
Yeah.
So I mean, to me, it's just a plug by Fox.
Yeah. I
wouldn't say they mean, oh, this is our game of the week.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, to me, I think it was just due to time. That game just happened because of time.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Historically speaking, you got the Cowboys and the Niners. Historically speaking, these are two teams with great history in that. But I mean, people say the Niners are going to fall apart this year, and people say the Cowboys aren't even going to compete this year.
Yeah.
Now, what I'm going to say is, as far as the East goes, I'm going to hold out.
Yeah, I mean, week 1 again can always be
no. I'm going to hold out the fact that there are Eagle fans saying that this is in the bag after week 1. It's not in the East. The games that are going to matter are going to be against the division. Well, that's what's going to determine who's going to win the division. Is who's going to win head to head. And so, which is why I think that Washington game is going to prove more. We could destroy Indianapolis. To me, if we lose to Washington, already start worrying about us with this team winning the division, because I said I don't see anybody in the East having a winning record in the non-division games. Any of them having a winning record in the non-division games.
Well, yeah.
So tiebreaker's division. So those games that we lose matter.
Yeah.
So we lose to Washington to open up. If RG3 can turn around finally and start playing like he did his rookie year. If you're an Eagles fan, start getting nervous then.
But then again, I mean, the next week he can get knocked out, for the season. I mean, who knows? But yeah, I mean,
I'm just saying.
The season can evolve. I mean, we'll see how it goes. But I mean, last year, the Cowboys, I think, were 5-1 in the division.
Yeah.
But they managed. They managed to screw it up still at the end of it. So.
Yeah, but it wasn't like any of our games last year were like walking the parks in the division.
Well, no, I mean they never really. They normally aren't, unless it's like the 2004 season where you got the Super Bowl contending Eagles and everybody.
Nobody else in the NFC was competitive that year, though.
That's what I'm saying. It's not that unless it was one of those years, and it's not necessarily.
Well, it's not like unless you're Seattle, which is maybe the only thing that at this point like Seattle was the only top team that played like a top team.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Seattle, it's not like Seattle's in this division, and it's one of those.
And I got a question. I had a question. ESPN's power rankings for how the hell did we go to 4?
Yeah, I don't understand that. I mean, I don't know. We were at 7, I guess, but
okay,
which is still might be a little high, but
and like I said, we got Mike Golick and freaking Mike Green trying to word. Who, by the way, I think jinxed the Eagles franchise this year by both of them going Eagles crazy this year. Essentially, it's Super Bowl. This team could go to the Super Bowl
last week. Yeah.
Seattle, the Legion of Boom, knows this stage chance against Chip Kelly's, revolutionary offense. Once again, I think too many people are drinking the Chip Kelly Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
Way too many people are drinking it.
Yeah. I mean, like I said last week, the Packers, I think, would end up being the second seed here. Look, Seattle handled them easily.
What I'm saying,
they look like they're going to repeat.
There's some people we got destroyed by Seattle. Oh, they're a crappy team then. No, I think they just lost to a very good opponent, and to me, probably the best football team this year.
Yeah, I mean,
which for me, I mean, I watched Green Bay. I'm looking at the Seattle game in the future, and I'm like, I don't care if it's on in Philadelphia. We don't stand a chance talent wise against this team.
So I mean, they're just so talented and solid on defense. I mean, the past few years, #1 in like every category of defense. Russell Wilson, I mean, is only.
I felt bad for Richard Sherman.
He can only get better.
I felt bad for Richard Sherman now. Not getting the ball thrown to him once.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
It's such a boring position then the whole game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can't make a tackle. Can't even try to go for an interception.
Yeah. I was watching. I didn't even.
And the fact that it was Aaron Rodgers of all people too. I mean, the fact that Aaron Rodgers, the self-proclaimed greatest quarterback in the NFL right now, was too scared to throw Richard Sherman's direction.
I was watching. I think it was Thursday night after the game on NFL Network, or maybe it was Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
The Seahawks on NFL Network, the 2013. And there was like one game, I think it was against Minnesota, where nobody threw the ball Richard Sherman's way, and he's just like out there like oh, this is boring. I might as well not even be here. Like I don't like so that's just it just goes to show you, and that defense, I mean that they held. I mean Rodgers, one of the best quarterbacks in the league. They hold them to 16 points. I mean, that's really kind of where the NFC is at right now. So, it goes through Seattle.
Yeah. But like I said, for me, the fact that there's some Eagle fans like saying, well, that's it. Romo threw 3 interceptions against the Niners. That's it. Even though Foles used to do the same thing against them in a couple of weeks.
If you throw into account the fumbles lost, I mean that's turnovers are turnovers. Yeah. There. I mean whether they go against the QB rating or not.
There was not one good quarterback there.
Right. Yeah.
At all. Which is why, like I said, to me, it's going to be a down year, definitely stat-wise. I think it's going to be a tremendous down year stat-wise in the NFC East. I see every quarterback as far as, turnover, touchdown ratio, all having more turnovers than touchdowns.
Yeah. Well, I have faith that with Foles will turn it around.
The only people you have faith in are tight ends, and you heard it come out of Sal Palantonio's mouth that you can't win a championship with tight ends.
Yeah.
He said
tight ends alone. Yeah.
You just can't. You need wide receivers. I didn't see a wide receiver on this team.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I definitely.
I don't expect us to see one this year. I think Riley Cooper might the Eagles might be regretting all the money they gave Riley Cooper.
He was a no-show in that. I mean,
I feel bad for Macklin because he only has a 1-year deal.
Yeah,
if he doesn't show up, he
wanted. Yeah, I mean, he wanted. He kind of, that was kind
Jordan
of
Matthews. I might give a pass to because he's a rookie.
He's a rookie. Yeah.
Josh Huff was a bust. That's all on Chip Kelly's shoulders.
Yeah, he's like a specialty. Yeah, I mean,
he played for Oregon.
Yeah.
He knows the system in and out.
He's a designated special teams guy, I guess. But yeah,
he was real special playing those kicks.
Yeah. Sproles was a bright spot. I'm trying to say bright spot here. Fortunately, he kind of opened up the game here. Actually outshined LaShawn McCoy in a sense.
Yeah, I mean,
it was nice to see him return.
I can see that.
Punts.
I think too people were hyping up his touchdown a bit. Like I said, it was the longest one in his career, and it was pretty much a give me.
Well, it was right
the defense wasn't set up properly.
The thing is, I mean,
they wouldn't even set up at all. I don't even think they even had. They barely had 11 guys on the field when they snapped the ball.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. His straight line speed, if he gets a lane, he can shoot right up, just like with the screen.
Yeah, but he also had nobody out in the open. Now.
That's the irony. Like he's normally not a between the tackles, running back. That's ironically.
I said if Eagle fans are expecting that all season from Sproles, it's not.
Well, no, I mean
he never had to run that kind of a run at New Orleans.
He's going to have some games that like he had there, and then he's going to have some.
The only plus side
be effective.
Is that it gives McCoy more rest time.
Right. Yeah.
Which reduces the chance of him getting hurt.
Yeah.
Now, if Sproles is going to get hurt, okay, we got one, but then that means that guy's got to get a bulk of the runs then, because we only have 3 running backs in the roster this year.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I still can't buy Chris Polka as a replacement if one of these guys go down.
I don't even think any other running backs outside of those 2 even played in this game. So
Polk never even played in the preseason at all because he had an injury.
He's recovered, and
which is I mean, which he must must have been very impressive last year to keep a roster spot then, because Tucker looked pretty impressive. He didn't get a
Yeah.
roster spot.
He was,
You know, he did last year.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, but I mean, at least special teams. I mean, Sproles helped him out. Kobe Parkey, at least
I'm just saying, I'm going to look at the Colts game this week, even if we win, I don't think it's going to be as big of a win as people would have thought earlier in the year if we won the game. I mean, like I said, if we lose the game, we lose the game. That's what I mean. I think you and me both had this as kind of a loss, but
I have him. Yeah, I have him.
To me, even if
we
we win, it's not going to be as big of a win as it was earlier in the year because of especially with Matthews out.
Mathis is out. Yeah,
Rob Mathis is out and so on. I mean, to me, the Washington game's the important one. To me, that's what's going to win it.
Any division. Yeah, I mean. And I mean, in week 3 too. I mean,
well, especially like I said, especially in the East, because I see all 4 NFC East teams having a losing record outside of the division.
Yeah.
That's Washington. That's New York. Like I said, which is where I come to the whole.
Yeah. Well,
I should say 7-9, 8-8 might actually be the record when all said and done that wins it. Maybe 9-7 at best. I don't see Philadelphia winning 10 games this year like they did last year.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know right now, but. I mean, because
I could see at best. Like I said, I could see his record wise going into first 6 games. Tyler, hanging to the bye week at best 4-2. Then, but I said afterwards, I think we lose 5 straight afterwards before had the Dallas on Thanksgiving.
Yeah. I don't think they'll lose 5 straight. I can't see
Arizona. I think that's a loss. I think Green Bay's a loss. I think Tennessee's a loss. I think Houston's a loss, and Carolina, believe it or not, I think might be a loss.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
to me, all teams have either a better offense, I think, or a better defense.
But I mean that doesn't always mean that guarantees a win, and that's what I there's also like an ebb and flow to the
and don't get me wrong. I mean, I know people say, well, we beat Arizona last year, and that was a very great, very talented Arizona team and so on there too. And I'm like, yeah, but we had Deshaun Jackson. I said at the end of the year, this team will miss Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah,
and even I'll go further, Jason Avant. I don't think Cooper and Macklin are going to fill the gaps in. And that's the case.
Definitely not Cooper, right?
Yeah, and like I said, if Cooper doesn't fill the gaps in, then Macklin's going to have to pretty much go solo then. Because I don't know how Jordan Matthews is going to intimidate guys, essentially.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he is a rookie. I mean, he has some growth.
Like I said, Nick Foles, to me, he still has those key weaknesses, which is why I could see why there are people saying he kind of was overrated, maybe people would say coming in this year. I mean, you hang on that ball so long, you're begging to get sacked.
Yeah.
You're begging to maybe walk away with a concussion. If you think about it against Dallas, that's how he got his concussion in the first place. He held to the ball too damn long. He took a nasty hit in the sideline. Yeah. That's how he got concussed. Yeah. So it was his stupid fault he got the concussion in the first place.
Yeah, that game, I mean, the beginning of that Jacksonville game, it felt like that Dallas game last year. I mean, holding on to the football.
I'm not gonna lie. When he got hurt and he had Mark Sanchez like just begging to grab his helmet and almost get in there.
People were calling for.
Which is just ironic because this guy has been deemed Mr. Butt Fumble for so long. But like I said, maybe that might have to do more about Rex Ryan. Maybe it's because this guy just never had a chance to really throw the football.
Yeah,
maybe he didn't find the offense.
I mean, they were defensive minded.
But like I said, the day you send Mark Sanchez in is the day you give up on the season.
Yeah, and give up on.
I'm not saying we said part yet, but I'm just saying to all the Eagle fans out there saying this is a walk in the park division this year. Yeah. It's not. I think anybody in this division could beat anybody really.
Yeah, I mean,
any given Sunday, Dallas can beat us.
Yeah,
they almost beat us. Well, I mean, they beat us last year, and then they almost beat us. It wasn't for Kyle Orton falling in. Keyword: Kyle Orton, the backup, almost beat us last year. I mean, people are gonna say, "Well, Wayne, we beat Washington pretty handily. We almost gave up." Well, yeah, I mean, we did. I mean, but once again, I think we almost blew 2 big leads then in both games. Really, my night we almost blew that lead, which would have made maybe the whole Chip Kelly hype kind of be reversed. Because because we won so big. Because we scored so many points against Washington week, when people are saying, well, that's it, Chip Kelly, we've lost the NFL now. But then there have been people maybe saying if we lost that game, well, you know what? We could score points there, but I think he made the defense way too damn tired. And I think the offense got too damn tired to the point that they got their foot off the gas pretty much. I mean, if there's one plus I liked about the setup is that we eventually huddled at one point. We've actually tried to take time off the clock.
Well, that's obviously, something. That's a key
and that used to drive me insane is that we'd have kind of a solid lead, and Chip would still want to be on the gas. I'm like, no, I want to get the hell out of here with this win here. I don't want to give this team any chance, any more time on the clock, because what would happen is 3 and outs, less than a minute, and all of a sudden the other team, you're punishing your defense then for no reason.
Yeah. So I mean, hopefully that'll be used more often. And I mean, heading into this game against the Colts, hopefully, Nick Foles bounces back and maybe plays a little more like his
If
usual
Andrew Luck,
self.
if the Colts are up big at halftime, then the game's over.
Yeah, because
if it's Jacksonville again, I don't see it happening. Even if the Colts defense is bad.
Yeah.
And I mean bad.
The Eagles could still come back, but I don't think they'll get the job done either way this game. I think it'll be competitive. And if Foles has another bad game,
there are people calling most people are calling it a
it
shootout because they think both quarters are going to be laying it up.
Yeah, well, Luck has weapons.
It gets two very sad defenses essentially.
Yeah, if they can't get pressure on Luck, then then it's the secondary will get exposed.
But like I said, I think Washington though next week's the big one. The following week Washington, because I think
week 3.
if you lose to Washington, which could happen, I mean. I don't know anybody around here is going to stop Deshaun Jackson really at this point, especially if Allen Hurts can get through the secondary no problem.
I mean the Texans certainly they had the blueprint there
they had J.J. Watt.
We
don't have J.J. Watt.
No. I mean that's the thing. I mean against good defenses, but the Eagles are really gonna have to rush the pass. Find a way to get to the quarterback. I think that's the bottom line because their secondary will get exposed.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's really where I'm at. And I think, here, I mean, Luck will take advantage of the secondary.
Andrew Luck can get rid of the football pretty damn fast. So.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's how you would hope for your quarterback to do. I mean, and I mean, he's got weapons around him, definitely.
Well, like I said, for me, I've always been more pessimistic to the point that my dad even accused me of not being an Eagles fan. I'm like, no, I'm not going to drink the Kool-Aid like some people have been doing this year. Which is we're going to be better than last year's team. I don't see this team
like Mike Greenberg and Golick.
Oh no! Those guys are smoking something because Super Bowl.
Yeah,
boy, winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but I mean, it was like one national guy after another started saying it, and that's how last week. That's how that.
But they're also based on the fact that we're going to score 40 points a game here and so on here. I mean, look, there's only been one team that won with all offense and no defense, really. And they could even win a Super Bowl. But they at least got one. The Miami Dolphins with Dan Marino.
Yeah.
That was it. But, that was Dan Marino who flew bombs.
Yeah.
Like, he always flew down the field pretty much for that team.
Yeah.
But once again, they never won a Super Bowl with that. You need to win defenses. Sal Paolantonio brought up about how no teams won a Super Bowl just utilizing the tight ends. The tight ends were the main weapons. Really, and he gave the Patriots as a good example. How they won when they had Gronk as the main guy? None, because Gronk would get hurt and the offense would kind of fall apart then. Kind of. Yeah. They might still make a run. They might make the Super Bowl, but they won't win it because their main weapons out. I mean, so let's also go with the fact that really no champion. Every champion that's won a Super Bowl at least has had a decent defense as well. Yeah. So until I see the Eagles having a decent defense. You can't buy him as a Super Bowl winner.
Yeah. I mean, it's year 2. So I mean, what are people jumping the gun for here? Year 2 in the Chip Kelly era here. So I mean, there's no need to jump the gun here. I mean, look, Pete Carroll in Seattle. I mean, fourth year Super Bowl. So it's got to.
The one problem I have with Chip Kelly is when I hear people compare him to. He's got. The last time I've heard people say they've seen a coach come in with so much swag.
Yeah.
Was Jimmy Johnson when he came from the Cowboys. And that's maybe why people come up with this whole idea of well, it worked for the Cowboys. They kind of won 3 Super Bowls based on that deal. I don't know. It's good. Well, Barry Switzer won. That was Jimmy Johnson's team, whether you like it or not. Jimmy already had that team win. Because Jimmy didn't like to lose. He wanted to win. He did whatever, he got the guys to win. And you see Chip Kelly, he doesn't like to lose. He liked to win. He hated losing to Oregon. He's going to hate losing in the NFL. He'll do anything he can to win. But he also has this belief that his offense, that I guess revolutionized college football, will revolutionize the NFL. Yeah. That people will copy from him. Offensive plays and so on. And will also want to know how to offense and so on. I just don't see that. And the fact that the guy's had such an ego that he can make a comment such as, "Well, I could plug anybody, into these things and make him a superstar." Which, if I'm LaShawn McCoy and some of the guys, I think that's an insult thing. Essentially, you're saying is that you can, LaShawn McCoy didn't make Chip Kelly. I made LaShawn McCoy essentially.
Yeah.
Nick Foles didn't make me. I made Nick Foles.
Yeah. Well, Andy Reid might disagree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, and then there is the whole idea too that he doesn't need talent and because he's got the systems, but you could always have both too. I mean, I mean I don't know. I mean, as far as having talent and a system goes, that's the way I look at it.
Look at Seattle. They have talent. They have talent.
So yeah, well yeah, I mean, well I mean we'll see down the road. Yeah, Seattle. Yeah, it's like I think a blueprint right now, really in the league. I mean, obviously the defense, Russell Wilson. You got a beast running back, Marshawn Lynch, and if they need to pass the ball, I mean, Russell Wilson, Percy Harvin, good, he's got a couple good weapons there. So, really, I think that's the blueprint right now for the NFL. And as far as and building an organization goes too. So yeah, I guess that'll wrap it up for TW Sports Talk today. As we look for the Eagles to come out against the Colts and at least definitely make it a competitive game and hopefully for Nick Foles to look a little more like the quarterback of last year, I guess, and make his throws more on target and not holding the ball.
I gotta ask you this question though, because this guy asked about Washington, which is when do you hit the panic button with RG3 this year? And some people said, well, if they haven't won by week 4 and 5, that's when you maybe start throwing Kirk Cousins in as the starter. When do you hit the panic button for Nick Foles then? If you're a fan right now, if it happens, what week would you start to really say, I think maybe Marcus should be going in and taking snaps? I don't think this kid's ready for prime time. It turns out.
Well, I mean, the thing too is even though he played terribly, I mean, they won the game. I mean,
Jacksonville.
Like people, it's like I know, but I mean, it's like that seemed to make people think oh, Foles turned it around the second half. I don't think it was really that at all. I don't think Foles really turned it around much in the second half. He didn't play bad.
He still played kind of bad in the third quarter.
Yeah.
I mean, really, the fourth quarter was probably his best quarter.
Yeah.
Like I said, he only had one great play. I'm sorry, I'm discounting the Jeremy Maclin touchdown as a legitimate play. That was a bad defensive.
That won't happen. Yeah, I mean that won't happen.
That's not gonna happen on every defense you face.
Yeah, that won't happen against Seattle or some other defenses, but yeah, I mean we'll see how he comes out next week, and if he if he looks like he did against Jacksonville, which I don't think he will, but I still don't think they'll win the game. Then then obviously I would hit the panic button if Foles comes out looking bad again, and then and then they got to face they face Washington next week. He's got to be prepared for that game. Really, he's got to play well in that.
Because I'm already assuming Washington's
division game.
I assume Washington's going to beat Jacksonville. So if we lose to any Cowboys and they win, it could be for first place in the division to kick off.
Yeah, that's a tie. Yeah, or take the lead.
I don't think Dallas is going to beat Tennessee, especially the way Tennessee's been playing. We played week 1. They keep playing like they did. Dallas is not going to beat them. They got too many issues.
And then Giant, I forget who the Giants play, but I think that whoever it is, I think I had them losing. Yeah. So, I don't know, but
okay.
Yeah, the Giants look like a mess this year. But yeah, I mean, we'll see how these games turn out, and then talk about it next week on TW Sports Talk, and then that'll lead us into the big first divisional game of the year against the Washington Redskins. So.
Deshaun Jackson returns home.
Yeah. So
he's gonna love to hear those boos.
Yeah. So I'm not expecting a win here, but if they do, I mean, it's great. But
it's gonna be great, and that's 2-0. But I'm not gonna sell it as much as I did earlier in the year.
And then I wasn't.
I'm starting to think the Colts maybe aren't the team to beat in the South. Maybe now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll see how it turns out, but I think Andrew Luck, he's the.
I'm just saying, don't sleep on Houston and Tennessee.
No, I won't. But
they got some playmakers in those teams.
Yeah. But But I don't sleep on Andrew Luck either. So,
No,
but
no. Like I said, if they don't win it, it's not on Andrew Luck's part. That's all. I'm not saying
yeah,
he's still the best part of that team,
yeah, but
but he needs more personnel help if they want
yeah,
to go further.
yeah, definitely defense. They need help, and so. But yeah, we'll see how the game shakes out, and then we'll talk about it next week on TW Sports Talk as always. So thanks for tuning in.